Hey everyone, it's me, Hallease, endeavoring to persevere as always. Today I'm recording / doing some field testing of the Zoom F1 recorder. Let's check it out. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe if the spirit moves you so you can stay abreast, if you will, of everything that I've got going on in this chaotic good life. So the Zoom recorder, I purchased this from Amazon Prime. It came in a pack, basically everything I needed to start recording on the spot as soon as I opened the box came with it. So what is the Zoom F1? It is a field recorder meant to be a little bit more rugged and sturdy in terrain, and you can see that I think it's definitely represented in the price difference between something like this, the F1, and the H1N. You have a multitude more buttons to work with and some easy access buttons, so navigating the menu bar on this feels a little bit more intuitive than the H1N. One thing I will say is sort of a downgrade from this back plate is that it comes with a super tiny screw, which makes it a little difficult because, I mean, I had to kind of scour for a proper Phillips screwdriver that was small enough to fit this little screw to put this piece on. It's a field recorder, so what's really neat about what I think Zoom is trying to do with this recorder is have it to be your sort of one-stop shop recording device for a variety of different types of microphones. So similar to how the H5N has multiple microphones that you can attach to the top of it, you can do the same with this recorder. Obviously you have to purchase them separately. When you first purchase the device, mine came with a lav built in, and again, I think that's what they kind of market this mostly as. That being said, the device also has a micro SD. So my personal opinion is I'm really actually not that big on lavs. I don't really like using them, but I recognize that they do serve a purpose. The audio editors that I've worked with in the past on films or you know, marketing and commercial level stuff, they usually prefer boom as well. Something that I actually don't like about this recorder though, in comparison to a much more cost-effective recorder like the H1N, which you can also use as a lavalier setup if you want to, is that this one uses a record level based on arbitrariness. So the recording levels are from low to high plus plus, whereas with the Zoom H1N, I really liked that it had sort of a number gauge, I'm assuming from 0 to 100 on the recording level that you could use. All that being said, for this video, I have been recording my audio the way I usually do, using my Rode VideoMic Pro Plus. If you'd like to check out that review, link in the Eye of Sauron. Now, and I did that so that way you can hear my voice and remember my voice as it sounds using this microphone with the boom. I currently have my Zoom set based on, I listened to myself via the headphone jack before I started recording and figured out that high minus was the best place for me to be at. This is what my voice sounds like on high minus using the F1 with the lav. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and switch it. Let me take myself off hold. So now I'm on high regular using the Zoom F1. I'm assuming I don't sound too much worse. I'm not listening to myself because I wanna like be pleasantly surprised or let down in post. You know, according to this audio level, I shouldn't be terrible right now. We're gonna go ahead and move it up. This is high plus. Okay, I'm at -6, which my speaking voice is like right around -12, actually going up to -6, so I'm probably sounding pretty bad right now. And I'm assuming you'll probably start to hear a lot of other background, maybe the air conditioner a little bit more. And now I'm at high plus plus, which is the highest setting that this has, and yeah, I'm sure I probably sound absolutely terrible. If anything, I'll probably lower the volume in post so that way I'm not blowing y'all out, but you'll be able to hear that I'm probably peaking and I'm probably a bit distorted now. And then here I am on auto. So I'm gonna talk on auto for a bit just so you can hear how it's probably trying to figure out where to balance me, and it probably took some time to achieve that. Now if I stand here, Let's see how terrible it sounds trying to figure out, you know, where my normal is. And that's something that usually always bothers me about auto on any kind of recording device, is that it takes it a minute. If you're quiet for too long, it's going to assume the background noise is what it's trying to pick up, and it's going to elevate the audio level even like way too high. And then when you finally talk, it brings it back down. So you have these ebbs and flows, these peaks, you know, at the beginning of when someone speaks. But you know, maybe the F1 isn't doing such a bad job, and maybe it's doing auto very well. I would be very surprised. But we'll see if I'm surprised in post. I'm on low minus right now. I can't even see. There's an inkling of a reading on the recorder, but I am assuming that you cannot hear me at all. If necessary, I will switch back to the boom or throw some boom in so you know what I'm saying right now. Now I'm on low. I'm seeing a little bit of a smidge of a something or another, but you probably really can't hear me. Again, I'll supplement this with boom so that way you can know what's going on. Here's mid minus. I'm assuming that there's some inklings there, you know, but I'm still like way below -32, so this is probably laughable. Here I am at mid, so mid is probably not good, but you know, you're picking me up, I'm getting there, or maybe this sounds better, I'm really not sure, you know. I really wanted to do this without listening to it in my headphones, just so, because the idea with this thing is that you're using it on the go, and maybe you're not necessarily taking the time to put your headphones in and listen and do all that. You just want to throw this on the person and get going. So, you know, here I am at mid, and then here I am at mid plus, which ironically might be the best version. I still feel, if I'm just looking at the audio levels, I feel like it's too low. I'm barely getting up to -18. I believe when I took my audio classes in college, you really wanted to have it in between -18 and -12. I'm barely even getting up to -18. Like, I'm still in like -32-ish range. So, and then here I am at high minus, which I think that's what I started on. I can't even remember now because I've been doing this video. But I think that's what I started on. I'm hoping that this is the best thing to be on. And yeah, I think I've gone through all of them now. So overall, what are my thoughts? I appreciate that the F1 is a step up from the H1N. However, if you're first starting out and you have limited money to invest, the H1N is a solid lav mic. You know, all you have to do is buy the H1N, which is around $100, buy a little lav mic to go with it. You can get those for around 20 or 30 bucks, and you're ready and set to go. But if you have a little bit more money to invest and want something that, you know, you don't have to worry about dropping it and it just shattering possibly, maybe check out the F1. Also, I think it's really neat that the F1 can take these different microphone attachments. Granted, that adds another level of investment, but it gives you, again, that capability to have one piece of equipment have multiple uses. So it feels like a more strategic investment on upping your production value rather than the H1N, where, you know, it's a good investment because it has a recorder, it has microphones built into it, but all you can ever really do with it is add a lav. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Zoom F1 field recorder. Like, share, and subscribe if the spirit moves you. I'm Hallease. I'll see you when I see you.